At some point, many employees stop trying to succeed at work and start trying to survive it emotionally. That's the truth nobody talks about. Because from the outside, corporate life often looks normal. People smile in meetings, reply politely to emails, talk about productivity, celebrate promotions, pretend everything is fine. But underneath all of that, many employees are exhausted in ways they can't explain. Emotionally numb, mentally disconnected, constantly anxious, always tired, slowly becoming people they don't even recognize anymore. And the scariest part? Most workplaces quietly reward people for hiding the damage. Because corporate survival often depends on one thing: learning how to suffer professionally. If this video feels painfully relatable already, take a second to like the video, subscribe, and comment below. Work changed me. Because millions of employees silently feel emotionally trapped inside systems that slowly reshape people psychologically over time. So today, we're talking about the truth about corporate survival nobody talks about. And honestly, once you see it clearly, you'll never look at modern work culture the same way again. 1. Corporate survival often requires emotional suppression. One of the darkest truths about corporate life is this: many workplaces do not reward emotional honesty. They reward emotional control. You're expected to stay calm, stay professional, stay productive, even when you're emotionally overwhelmed internally. You could be burned out, anxious, emotionally exhausted, or mentally collapsing. And the workplace still expects performance. So over time, employees slowly learn something dangerous psychologically. Hide everything. Hide stress. Hide sadness. Hide exhaustion. Hide frustration. And eventually, many people become emotionally disconnected from themselves just to survive professionally. That's why so many employees feel emotionally numb after years inside toxic corporate environments. Because survival often means suppressing your real emotions constantly. And honestly, that emotional suppression slowly changes people internally. People stop expressing themselves naturally. They become quieter, more guarded, emotionally distant. Not because they want to, but because vulnerability starts feeling unsafe. And over time, employees begin carrying workplace tension everywhere. Home, relationships, sleep, mental health, even weekends. Because the nervous system never fully relaxes anymore. If you've ever felt emotionally different after years in corporate life, comment below. Work changed who I am. Because honestly, many people silently feel this way. 2. The workplace rewards adaptation, not always health. This truth hurts a lot of people emotionally. Because many employees grow up believing hard work, loyalty, and dedication will eventually create security. But corporate survival often rewards something else instead: adaptation. The employees who survive longest are often the people who learn how to tolerate stress, how to emotionally disconnect, how to stay silent, how to avoid conflict, and how to function while exhausted. And honestly, that adaptation comes with a psychological cost. Because over time, employees stop asking, "Is this healthy?" and start asking, "How do I survive this?" That shift changes people deeply. Suddenly, constant stress feels normal. Emotional exhaustion feels normal. Late-night emails feel normal. Burnout feels normal. And eventually, Many employees don't even realize how emotionally unhealthy their work environment became. Because survival mode slowly becomes identity. That's why some employees feel emotionally lost after leaving toxic workplaces. For the first time in years, their nervous system finally slows down. And suddenly, they realize how much stress they were carrying the entire time. If this conversation feels painfully real so far, share this video with someone silently struggling under workplace pressure right now. Because a lot of people feel emotionally exhausted, but think they're simply bad at handling stress. And subscribe for more deep workplace psychology, emotional realism, and cinematic corporate storytelling every week. 3. Many employees quietly lose their identity. This is one of the saddest truths about corporate survival. Many people slowly become versions of themselves they never intended to become. Not overnight, but gradually. The cheerful employee becomes emotionally detached. The creative employee becomes numb. The confident employee becomes anxious. The empathetic employee becomes cold. And honestly, many employees don't notice it happening until someone outside work points it out. You seem different lately. That sentence hits hard emotionally. Because deep down, many employees already know it's true. Corporate environments often reward efficiency, emotional control, availability, and productivity. But human beings aren't machines. And over time, constantly functioning like one creates emotional consequences. That's why many employees secretly feel empty, disconnected, and emotionally exhausted even when they appear successful externally. Because survival inside unhealthy systems often requires sacrificing parts of yourself slowly. And honestly, that realization scares a lot of people. Especially when they realize they spent years surviving professionally while emotionally disappearing internally. 4. The workplace often makes people feel replaceable. This truth creates enormous anxiety emotionally. Because many employees eventually realize, no matter how hard they work, the system keeps moving. People burn out, quit, get replaced, disappear. And the office continues functioning like nothing happened. That realization changes people psychologically. Because employees begin understanding their emotional loyalty may not actually protect them. And honestly, that awareness creates survival behavior. People become more cautious, more emotionally guarded, less trusting, and more afraid of instability. Because modern corporate culture often makes employees feel conditionally valued. As long as performance remains high, that pressure creates chronic anxiety internally. Especially for employees already emotionally exhausted. And honestly, many people silently live in fear of becoming irrelevant, replaceable, or disposable, even while overworking themselves constantly. 5. Most employees are pretending they're okay. This may be the darkest truth of all. Walk through almost any office, and you'll see people smiling, working, talking professionally, attending meetings. But internally, many are overwhelmed. Some are emotionally burned out. Some feel trapped financially. Some are anxious constantly. Some are emotionally numb. Some secretly cry after work. Some feel like they're losing themselves completely. But corporate survival teaches people keep functioning anyway. And honestly, that emotional performance becomes exhausting. Because eventually, people stop feeling human. They start feeling mechanical, emotionally disconnected from themselves while trying to survive environments that never fully let their nervous systems rest. And sadly, Modern work culture often normalizes this emotional suffering instead of questioning it. So if this video connected with you emotionally, comment below. What's the hardest part of surviving corporate life emotionally? I genuinely read the comments. And conversations like this matter because millions of employees silently feel emotionally exhausted while pretending they're completely fine. Also, like this video if corporate life changed you emotionally in ways nobody prepared you for. Share this with someone silently struggling through workplace burnout or emotional exhaustion. And subscribe for more deep workplace psychology, emotional realism, and cinematic corporate storytelling every single week. Because the truth about corporate survival is this: many people aren't thriving emotionally inside modern work culture. They're simply learning how to survive it quietly.